Hello and welcome to Tuner Tips by Todderbert. Today we will talk about making a modification to your Tivdio V-115, your Audiomax SRW-810 or 710, or the Kaimeda SRW-710S. So we'll go ahead and put these aside. As you know, I did a review on this radio. This is my first review. And you know that I was very upset with the non-ability to change from 9K stepping to 10K stepping on the AM band. I'm an AM listener, so that was very disappointing. Also, of course, menus are all Chinese, no English. So I didn't know what to do with this radio. I tested it on the recording capability, and I found out that this little guy records slightly better than the Tiv 115 and the Kaimeda. It has a little less noise to the signal. So I thought, okay, I'll make this my everyday recorder. And I have. For the last month and a half, I've been using this to record all my radio shows because I was fortunate to have an AM frequency 720, a 9-step that comes up, and it has my classical radio on the weekends. And then the 780 AM station I cannot tune. They have a sister station on the FM band, 105.9. So I was like, great, I could tune that station in. And I was doing that, and it was fantastic. So I was recording both my shows, and I was very happy. And then things started happening with the radio. This USB port stopped charging the battery, so I just take my battery out and put it in the other radios that you saw to charge it. And they do sell a charger, dedicated charger you can buy for those batteries, the BL5Cs, which I'm going to pick up soon and review. So one day I was just recording away, and I had to adjust my antenna, and then all of a sudden I felt a little resistance and pop. My antenna broke. Yep, right at the bottom. Looks like a cheap base metal. Porosity just cracked off. So lost my signal. Was able to get that 105.9 anymore because that station was kind of a fringe station too. It was a little harder to pick up. So that was a bummer. So what do you do? Well, I hooked this up to my Texan R304D, which is a great radio, highly sensitive, and I was recording its 780 AM band for my radio stations. But I was a little upset because I had to have two radios now to record my one show, which before I didn't have to do that. So I needed a solution. Well, I jammed a wire in where the FM whip was, I just stuck a wire down in there, and boom, all of a sudden I started getting signals. Fantastic. So now I have to think of a mod. What can I do to modify this radio so I can have my FM back and my shortwave, because I lost my shortwave too. So I took apart the radio, and these radios all have this mega bass port, and all it is a diaphragm, a little rubber diaphragm. It's got like a little weight in the middle here. I think it's like metal. So yeah, and it's held down by a cage like this and screwed in that area. So I took that out, and I attached a 3.5 millimeter stereo jack to my FM antenna wire, and I'll show you how I did this. Here's a jack. Move this out of the way so this comes into focus. And so you'll notice there's 3 connections here, left, right, and a ground. And I just took a wire and I summed up all 3 with just a single bare wire, soldered it to all 3 connections. And then I took the FM lead from the internal PCB board and soldered it directly to this point here. And now with it in the cabinet there, I get signals like you wouldn't believe. So let's go ahead and go back to the radio. So you can kind of see it through the port there, the barrel. There was no way to put this back in. It just takes up too much room. They do have lower profile jacks versus the round kind. I think they have a flat version you can use that might give you a little bit more clearance. You might be able to move this jack this way more just a little bit. You probably don't want to cut into the silver part of the case, just make it more difficult to modify. And then you might be able to trim the cage and get this back in if you want to use this. This adds a lot of bass, and we're going to show you that tonal quality difference. After I took it out, I did notice a difference in sound quality, but for voice, it's still fine. So we're going to go ahead and show you with one radio, so you can get an idea of the sound difference with that mod. So we'll take that out and we'll put it into the Audiomax. And we'll play that. So overall, not too bad. You can cover the back. Or lay it flat. So that gives you the idea of the audio change. Turn this off. Okay, let's see what that little mod did. So now I have the ability to plug in one of those 21-foot wires, which is great because this radio lights up on the FM now and the shortwave. I had this last night at the bedside with my 310 ET, and I did a scan of the shortwave channels, and I did a scan with my 310 with the same wire hooked up to each radio, and they both received the same stations and the same quality signal. It was just amazing that this little, sub $15 radio was performing just as well as that 310 with this modification. So very cool indeed. So let's go ahead and see the results of the work. We can turn this on. So right now we got static. So it's changing its position there. I think there's metal under the table here, and that's probably what it's picking up. It's kind of neat. So let's just go ahead and turn that down. And then I have a 3-foot wire here, not my 21-foot, but the 3-foot wire will suffice. And I just plug it in. We'll tune to a stronger station. So my FM came back. Of course, it sounds really good with the 21-footer on there.
On Facebook, review us on Yelp.
Static. No static. So it's a wonderful mod. Turn that off so you get an idea. This isn't a great location for this little wire, but a different area where I have that 21-foot wire set up. It's just wow. All those stations come in crystal clear. Found it on the search. Same with my shortwave. Just amazing what I'm getting in now. So to sum this up here, you have this jack. Now, you may have your, antenna still, if I get it to fit in there. You can be like, I want to use my antenna. I want to have that as an option. Yes, you can do that. And you just install a single throw double pull. If I said that right. No. Single pull double throw. Sorry. So the term is where you have the center, and then you have a top and a bottom connection. So when you flip it to one, it takes the circuit off and adds the FM to the whip, and then when you flip it the other way, it adds a circuit to the jack. So yeah, that's your single pole double throw switch. So SPDT when you're looking for switches. And you want a micro one, like a sub-micro switch, so you can fit it in here easily. There's some room left still in the cabinet there. Don't know if you can see, but there's definitely some space for a switch to go there. And you can put a switch right there. And that'd be handy because then you just leave the antenna collapsed when you're not using it and you have it hooked up here. And then when you want to use your antenna on the go, you just flip the switch back up and you got that. You don't have to worry about wires hanging off here. So yeah, just an amazing little mod you can do. And I'm thinking about doing it to my other ones and seeing if I can retain the bass diaphragm still, and looking for other places to put it. And I tried to put the jack up here, just wasn't going to work out. This wasn't deep enough here. It would just drill out and it wouldn't fit. You know, it's just too loose. It wouldn't work out. So if there's a way, maybe you could drill it out and then maybe you could hot glue this in there, but it wouldn't probably look as good as this done on the side. So well, there you go. Tuner tips. This is just to give you a fun little program where I'm going to touch on different mods you can do to your radios, things I've found with the batteries. We're going to talk about radio reports, reception reports, what you've got with your particular radio set. We're just going to go over a lot of fun things, how you log your distances and just fun things in general. So stay tuned. Thank you. Bye-bye.